Hello everyone, I'm your digital host, Tatyana White. Welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, the one-stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week, a sneak peek into stories coming up in our evening newscast today, weekend events you can go check out, and concluding the show with Saturday snapshots. I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. Let's get right into this weekend's recap. One of our top stories this week was out of Decatur. A judge ruled that former Decatur police officer Mac Marquette is denied immunity from prosecution following a two-day hearing last week. Marquette was charged in the shooting death of homeowner Steve Perkins, and he will now stand trial for murder. 48's Nick Ballinger has more on this story.
Brother of Steve Perkins, who was killed by a Decatur police officer in 2023, could describe the last 72 hours.
3 long days.
The long wait ended with a ruling from a Morgan County judge that Perkins' accused killer, Mac Marquette, did not act in self-defense and therefore can't be granted immunity. Defense attorney Hunter Garnett, not affiliated with this case, noted the extreme detail of the 17-page ruling.
In a case like this, basically the judge's ruling at the end of the day is there's some things that we need to figure out, and a jury needs to decide what is right and what is wrong.
Starting with the question of why Decatur police officers were called to Perkins' home in September of 2023 in the first place.
Part of his ruling is based on the fact that the police officer was acting outside of the line and scope of his employment, that he's doing some things that aren't part of your job as a Decatur police officer. And that's the very first thing I thought about the case was, why the heck are the police helping a tow truck driver repossess a car? That's not only not their job, but it's against the law.
Against the law and police policy, according to the judge. Quote, unless there is judicial process, a secured party may not utilize the assistance of a law enforcement officer in conducting a repossession. A law the judge says the tow truck driver didn't know, but the officers did. It even says this was, quote, common practice for Decatur police to assist in civil matters like Perkins. Marquette and the other officers testified they were investigating a menacing charge from when Perkins first pointed a gun at the tow truck driver. But the ruling says, quote, an investigation would have required them to make contact with Perkins, which body cam footage reveals the officers didn't do, instead opting to conceal themselves outside the home. Prosecutors argued that the officers had options to keep the peace by using their lights or even calling the utility company to track down Perkins' number to make contact, that leading the judge to say, quote, the defendant in regard to a menacing investigation was acting outside the scope of his authority and was therefore a trespasser.
We're very glad for the verdict that came down today, but we have to be reminded that the battle's not over. We still have to stay focused and vigilant because there's a trial coming.
Thank you, Nick. And in Limestone County, 2 people were accused of running a backyard breeding operation. Rhonda and Larry Moore are now facing a combined 76 counts of alleged animal cruelty and negligent charges. 48's Callie Neese has more on this developing story.
Kendrick McNamee Taylor's parents live just down the street from where this alleged backyard breeding scheme took place. She said she often brings her dog over to visit her parents and could hear the dogs from the backyard breeders barking. She said she has even made reports in the past.
So many animals' lives have been at risk for years, and pretty much frustration that they've gotten away with it.
McNamee Taylor told me she was relieved when these 2 got arrested, but said she was frustrated it took so long for anything to be done. Rhonda and Larry Moore are now facing 38 charges each in connection to animal cruelty and neglect. This comes after Athens police say they got a search warrant to address an alleged commercial dog breeding operation on Lindsay Lane after receiving a call about a bad smell at the residence. An officer who responded to the initial call saw numerous dogs living in poor conditions. Dr. Elizabeth O'Connor from the Limestone Veterinary Clinic here in Athens has taken the animals in to get them into adoptable condition.
Very fortunate that we have an incredible staff that is not only handling this load, but our current load at our clinic. So glad that we can serve our community in this way.
McNamee Taylor says this should be a warning to those who are purchasing pets from breeders.
Like, people need to be aware of what goes on, that people are trying to make a profit off of animals and they don't care about those lives. They just care about making money off of breeding animals and keeping them in torturous situations.
I reached out to ADP for further comment, and Chief Anthony Presnell told me that this case is still under investigation and he has no further comment at this time. Both the Moores are currently free on bond. Dr. O'Connor says those dogs should be available for adoption next week. Reporting in Athens, Cali News 48 News, on your side.
And staying in Limestone County, the family of an Athens man killed in a hit and run while on a walk is speaking out. They said they are devastated and will continue to fight for justice. 48's Cali News spoke with the family of the victim and shares more on this story.
Tim Turner's son Jesse died after being struck by a car while on a walk back in February. Turner remembers his son as a loving father, and he says he is deeply missed.
He's a practical joker. He loved to tell jokes.
Today, Tim reminisced on who his son was. He told me he was a kind man who loved to laugh, a loving father, and loved to take walks. Jesse was on one of his walks when he was a victim of a hit and run where he was killed. Tim told me that Jesse said he was making a difference on those walks.
Yes, he did. Every day he would walk. He loved to walk. He bragged about all the stuff that he would find on the side of the road, and he actually said, I'm actually doing a service for the community because I'm picking up trash off the road.
This is the woman police say is responsible for this hit and run. Kimberly Hirth was free on bond following her arrest for possession of a controlled substance when Turner was killed. She now faces charges of leaving the scene of an accident with an injury or death. Hirth is once again free on a $5,000 bond. Tim says it hurts to know that she is free to spend times with friends and family when he will never get to spend time with his son again.
I mean, we're fixing to have his birthday's the 9th of this month. He can't celebrate another birthday. I mean, she's on Facebook bragging about what she's doing and having a good time. My son can't do that anymore.
Jesse's birthday is later this month. Tim told me that he and his oldest son will be going to Jesse's grave, bringing his favorite drink and releasing balloons in his honor. Tim told me that he and his family will continue to fight for justice for his son. Reporting in Athens, Cali News 48 News, on your side.
And in Lauderdale County, a school employee was arrested after confessing to having sex with a student. According to court documents, 41-year-old Amy Wigginton engaged in sexual acts with a student under the age of 19 years old on March 7th and March 31st. 48's Cali News has more on this developing story.
According to court records, Wigginton lives in Rogersville and was employed by Lauderdale County Schools. Amy Wigginton was booked into jail this morning. She is charged with a school employee engaging in a sex act with a student. Wigginton was an employee at Lauderdale County Schools at the time of her arrest. During her interview with investigators, she reportedly confessed to the alleged relationship. She is now being held in the county jail on a $100,000 bond. We found online records that show she was part of the child nutrition staff at Lauderdale County High School. However, school officials would not confirm that. I spent the day speaking with residents of Rogersville, and one resident told me that Wigginton should be ashamed of herself over the alleged crimes. I reached out to the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office, and officials say that this is still under investigation, and they have no further comment at this time. Whitney Coates from Lauderdale County Schools released this statement saying, quote, "The Lauderdale County School Board of Education is aware of the allegations, and the employee has been placed on administrative leave. We will continue to cooperate with law enforcement officials." Wigginton's court date has not yet been set. This case is still under investigation. 48 News will update you as new information becomes available. Reporting in Rogersville, Cali News 48 News, on your side.
Thank you, Callie. Moving over to Madison County, as of Wednesday, the inmate count in the Madison County Jail is at over 1,100 inmates. The jail's capacity is posted at 1,225, which makes the jail around 90% full. 48's Nick Ballinger digs deeper into this and shares more from outside the Madison County Jail.
David McCoy, capital murder, booked in 2022. Justin McGee, drug trafficking, booked in 2021. Caleb Holden, capital murder, booked in 2019. These three share one thing in common with many others sitting inside the Madison County Jail. They've waited years for the wheels of justice to turn, only for those wheels to get stuck in the mud. Madison County District Attorney Tim Gann says they're trying to keep up with the volume of crime.
We have never been this busy in our history as far as prosecuting cases, moving cases.
When you combine an exploding population, steady drug crimes, and a lack of personnel, Gann says you get long waits.
You have all these drug cases, and they are at the Department of Forensic Science waiting to be tested. They have a backlog as well, so they're just sitting there waiting.
He says Madison County is the busiest in the state when it comes to cases per judge. In the past 3 months, Madison County appointed a new circuit and district judge to help put a dent in the load.
We're at capacity right now, and now that we have a new judge, anytime we get new judges, we hire new people to support those judges.
Gann says high bond amounts are keeping many behind bars. Take Eddie Franklin, for example. Franklin was booked over a year ago for drug trafficking, and since then, his attorney has filed a motion to reduce his bond that sits at $1.2 million. Gann says for most crimes, the DA's office is following bond guidelines to a T.
Drug trafficking, gunplay, those are going to max you out.
Thank you, Nick. Now to an update in the case of a Madison County man charged with capital murder. Reese Jones is now expected to plead guilty to avoid a trial, 3 years after being accused of shooting and killing his wife. 48's Noah Cowell spoke to Jones' defense attorney, who has the latest.
David McCoy, capital murder, booked in...
According to
David...
Reese Jones was scheduled to go on trial here at the Madison County Courthouse on Monday for capital murder, but his attorney says Jones is now expected to plead guilty to manslaughter instead. Jones is charged with capital murder of his wife Erin Jones back in 2022. She was found that night lying face down with their 1-year-old daughter on top of her. In the preliminary hearing, a detective testified Jones told him, quote, "They will do an autopsy and find out I shot my wife," end quote. He was initially released on bond to stay at the His Way Addiction Recovery Center. Jones could have faced life in prison without parole if convicted of capital murder, but with this plea change, Jones would only face a maximum of 20 years. I reached out to the Madison County DA today for more information on this plea deal, but they said they were not prepared to comment. Jones was arrested again for harassment last year and then released on bond again 7 months ago. He's been free from jail since then, but his attorney says now with this guilty plea, Jones must return to the Madison County Jail on Monday and stay there until his sentencing hearing. Reporting in Huntsville, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
And the Trump administration set sweeping tariffs into motion Wednesday night. These included a 25% increase on imported aluminum and steel products, which means many breweries will have to pay more for beer cans and steel kegs. 48's Noah Cowell spoke with some owners of Huntsville breweries to see how these new tariffs have impacted their business.
Back 40 Beer Company here in Huntsville is taking these tariffs seriously. Owner Doug Brown says they're not going to be impacted as severely as other breweries in the area, but he knows their profits will take a hit. These sweeping tariffs include taxes on imported aluminum and steel products, which for breweries means they'll have to pay more for beer cans and steel kegs. Brown says Back 40 rarely distributes aluminum beer cans, but they spend about $50 grand every year on steel kegs. So they have a big shipment coming in before the tariffs increase those prices. His main focus, though, is on the imported goods they use to make their beer. Brown says their malts and hops have seen a 9% price increase in the last few years, and both will increase even further with tariffs. But he has a message for concerned customers.
People need to know we're absorbing the cost. It's the business that's going to take the hit. We won't put it on the consumer. No one's going to buy a $10, $12 craft beer, or not many people. So we've had to absorb those costs and maintain our prices at the same level.
Brown says this will hurt their profitability, but he's more worried about breweries that have no other choice than to buy these more expensive products.
They use top ingredients for their product. They also have to buy a lot of aluminum cans and have a lot of kegs in distribution. So it's going to hit them. It's going to hit them really hard. And any brewery, but especially those focused on distribution, are going to have a serious challenge ahead of them.
Brown says the younger generations prioritizing seltzers and wine over beer makes it much harder for the breweries that can't even sell those. He urges everyone to support their local breweries during these rough times. Reporting in Huntsville, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
Thank you, Noah. And coming up after the break, a sneak peek into stories coming up in our evening newscast today, fun events to look out for in the Huntsville area this weekend, all that and more when we come back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 48 Recap. Today, the Closet Ministry at Monrovia Church of Christ hosted a free clothing giveaway for families that may be facing financial stress due to job loss, illness, or other problems. The event ended at noon, but I had the pleasure of sitting down with Deacon Brian Bates, and he shares more on ways people can help with clothing giveaways in the future and the importance of hosting events like this.
We will open up for donations later, closer to the fall giveaway for fall and winter clothing. So if you have gently used clothing in good condition that you want to give away, then you can bring that to our building. Now, these giveaways are our main effort. We do try to meet other needs that pop up. We've had families contact us that have had for instance, a house fire and they need clothes. So if we still have clothes left after the giveaways, we certainly try to make those available as well to people in need. We saw a need and we wanted to help fill it in whatever way we could. And so this is a way we try to help and give back to our community.
Yes, I really enjoy talking to Brian and just hearing all the wonderful things the Closet Ministry does at Monrovia Church of Christ. And to learn more information about future clothing giveaways, ways to get help from the Closet Ministry, or ways to donate, contact the Closet Ministry at closetministry@monrovia.org or visit their Facebook page at the Closet Ministry MCC. The full 48 Now interview with Brian is available to watch on our website at WAFF48.com under the Digital Shows tab. I also had the pleasure of talking with Josh Acock, who is the event organizer for the upcoming 21st annual Swampers 5K and 1 Mile Run and Walk. Josh joined 48 Now to share more about this longtime community tradition that brings together runners, walkers, and families for a morning of fun and fitness in the Muscle Shoals area. Let's take a listen.
And our goal back 21 years ago was to make this a family run, where you can come out and do it and stuff like that. We do finishers medals for all 5K finishers, and all the kids 12 and under in the 1 mile get a finisher medal. And we have a lot of people that this may be the only race that they do each year. And a lot of them have come out with their family. I just got a few registrations here a few minutes ago from, a father and son and a father and daughter. And then I had earlier today, it was a whole family. It was, husband, wife, and then 2 children. So we really want to make it a family event. Our 5K is a very flat and fast course. I say that kind of tongue in cheek, because there is some people that say their race is flat and ends up being a lot of hills, but it's very, very easy course. It pretty much runs a square through a neighborhood, ends right there in front of the middle school. And then our 1 mile is just a 1 mile, as well, and stuff like that. We have some younger ones do that, some older ones as well. But it's a fun event. It's something we've enjoyed doing for the last 21 years, and some of the people we only get to see once a year, so it makes it really worth our time. Still the same finishers medals for all the 5K finishers, kids 12 and under in the 1 mile. We did get the shirts. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm going to we just got the shirts picked up. They just came in, just a few minutes ago. They're a heather military green with our same kind of Swampers, guy on it running, and we've got a guitar in the background. We've always kind of tried to make it with a little bit of a musical behind the Swampy Monster running. So
Yes, this sounds like it's going to be a fantastic family event next weekend. So if you and your family are able to go, definitely check out this event. Early registration for the run is $25 and it ends on Monday, April 7th. The registration fee will increase after April 7th and it will be open until Friday, April 11th. And you can learn more information and register at swampers5k.com or on Facebook at swampers5k. And to hear more about this event, the full 48 Now interview with Josh is available to watch on our website at WAFF48.com under the Digital Shows tab. And a few stories to look out for coming up in our evening newscast. So one of the stories that you can look out for is the all-kids dugout at the Sportsplex in Athens reopened with limited capacity this weekend. This announcement comes after the all-kids dugout closed due to a water line burst in late March. The park will partially open back up this Saturday and Sunday before closing again on Monday. Parks and Rec Director Burt Bradford said that certain portions of the park will remain closed off to the public this weekend, but he hopes that they will be able to fully reopen the all-kids dugout next weekend. And a Bridgeport man was arrested on sodomy and child sex abuse charges. According to Jackson County Jail and court records, 70-year-old Ricky Thompson was arrested on Tuesday for 1 count of sodomy with a child, 1 count of enticing a child with immoral purpose, and 4 counts of sexual abuse of a child less than 12 years old. Court records show Thompson has an Anais Law bond hearing on April 8th. This is a developing story, but we will keep you updated right here at WAFF 48 as more information becomes available. And 1 person was killed and 2 people were injured in a fatal Huntsville car crash on Friday. According to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, the 2-vehicle crash happened at around 12:20 p.m. on Friday and claimed the life of 37-year-old Michael LaForest. He was critically injured when the vehicle he was driving collided head-on with the vehicle driven by Caitlin Hale. Authorities said LaForest was not using a seatbelt at the time of the crash, and he was taken to Huntsville Hospital where he later died from his injuries. Authorities said Hale was also injured and was taken to Huntsville Hospital for treatment. A 4-month-old passenger in Hale's car was injured as well and was taken to a local hospital for treatment. The crash occurred on Jordan Road near Twin Oaks Drive, northeast, approximately 2 miles north of Huntsville. Troopers with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency's Highway Patrol Division continue to investigate this fatal crash. So tune into our evening newscast to hear more details on all of these stories and more. And if you're in the Huntsville area this weekend, there are many events happening in the area that you should check out, and I wanted to highlight just a few of those. The Trash Panda season has started this weekend, so don't miss out on the Rocket City Trash Pandas versus the Chattanooga Lookouts today at 6:35 p.m. at Toyota Field, and they will also play again tomorrow at 2:35 p.m. Make sure to stay after the game ends if you would like to enjoy the post-game fireworks. And the Rocket City Night of Rock and Roll concert will be tonight at the BBC Mars Music Hall at 8 p.m. This concert is free and open to people of all ages. There will be performances from bands like Angry Native, New Atomic, Blind the Sky, and Tres Locos. So if you are looking for some great fun and live music, go out to the BBC Mars Music Hall tonight and enjoy this wonderful event. And tonight you can join mindset consultant Whitney A. Ford and dance instructor Nicole Dixon for an exclusive dance experience that welcomes everyone, regardless of gender, background, or ability. This will be held at Mill Cat Healing Arts Studio tonight from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can register on Facebook at UID 2025 on their event page. There is also a virtual option to join on Zoom, and that registration can be found on Facebook as well at UID 2025 virtual event. And happening right now is the spring market at the Alabama Constitution Hall Park in downtown Huntsville. The market will have handcrafted gifts, unique artwork, fun spring goods, and delicious treats, all created by talented artists from our community. So go on out and enjoy the spring market if you can. This event will be happening until 8 p.m. tonight. That's all I have today for the 48 recap. Before we wrap things up, I'd love to honor one of 48's morning anchors, Haley Baker. After 7 years of gracing TV screens across the Tennessee Valley, 48's Haley Baker is stepping back as the full-time morning anchor. Let's take a look at some of her highlights while working here and look at a moment of her final morning show from yesterday's newscast.
Well, good Saturday morning to you. I'm Haley Baker. I'm the new weekend morning anchor here at WAFF. We thank you for starting your day with me. Baker, thanks for waking up with us this rainy Sunday morning. I thank you. Thanksgiving is just 2 days away, and with that turkey and dressing, you also need some desserts.
It is. We had an oopsie this morning.
Good Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us for Wake.
Bart Williams joins us now. The Whistle Stop Festival, like you said, is a go. A tough decision for you all. It looks like the weather is
out as far as our football knowledge goes. But for a Texas 4-year-old, the trivia is quickly becoming a way of life.
Thanks for having me. You have some twist on some goodies, oldie but good.
6:54. We have 2 more minutes left, and we're saying goodbye to our Haley Baker. This is her last day anchoring the 48 Morning News. She is taking some time to spend with her family. We will miss her dearly. I love her. I adore her. We are more than co-anchors. We are more than friends. She's really become like family to me in the last 3 years. I don't know this job without her. I don't know Huntsville without her. But I'm glad she's not leaving Huntsville, and I told her that she is going to be forced to hang out with me often because after sitting next to someone for hours every day, I can't live without her. So.
Oh yes, we're gonna be here. It's nice to actually, say I'll see you later. We're military families, so usually we have to get up and move, go to a new duty station. So, we've retired here. Our girls are 14 and 12. I thought life would get easier the older they got, but not the case. They're just busier. So they need their mom, and I love the job, love the people. They're still going to be here. So bringing you the news of the day. I'll pop in occasionally, do some special projects, maybe fill in if I'm asked, but family first. That's sort of, we've been through a lot, and I think it's time to just focus on the family. Yeah, that's my priority right now.
Well, we will miss you dearly. Just a true joy to work with every single morning. Even that 4:30 hour, that's the tough one. But we will miss you.
It's been a big week. I mean, Heather finished her cancer treatments. That's something to celebrate. I think we can celebrate a lot of good stuff.
We will miss you, and I'm glad you're staying in town. Stop by whenever.
Absolutely.
Oh, we love you. Haley is a gem. She is the most phenomenal human being, on camera, off camera. What you see is what you get. To know her is to love her. We're really gonna miss her, but love you, Haley.
Dang it. I can't. Goodbye.
Have a good weekend.
Us.
Yes, Haley is the absolute best, and growing up as a military child, I completely understand the whole having to move around and everything, so we're wishing Haley the best. And being new here, I've only known Haley for about 3 months now, but she has always given me the warmest welcome, and she has been such a sweet and beautiful soul to be around. This is not goodbye, but just to see you later. Throughout the year, you may see her fill in from time to time or working on special projects here with WAFF 48. She'll be greatly missed in the 48 newsroom, but we are so proud of her work, grateful for the times we've had with her, and we're so happy she's going to get to spend more time with her family. That's all I have today for the 48 recap. Thank you all for tuning in, and be safe tonight during tonight and tomorrow morning's possible severe weather threat. Today is a 48 first alert weather day. Meteorologist Chelsea Aaron will be going live on all of our streaming platforms this afternoon at 4:30 p.m. for the 48 first alert weather extra to give you all an update on the storms, and she will also give more updates in our evening newscast tonight and tomorrow, so stay tuned and up to date. Hands Across Decatur announced they will open as a storm shelter ahead of tonight's severe weather. They will open at 9 p.m. and doors will close at 10 p.m. They will determine if they will remain open on Sunday as well, depending on the weather. So if you are in or near the Decatur area and would like to go to a storm shelter tonight, Hands Across Decatur has announced that they will be open. They said the doors to their shelter may open earlier tonight if the severe weather comes before 9 p.m. Updates can be found on their Facebook page at Hands Across Decatur. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. for the 48 First Alert Weather Extra segment. And this segment is just a way to give you all extra insights on the latest weather forecast. So make sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on Facebook and our YouTube channels so you can keep up to date and don't miss any updates on the weather and other storm shelter openings that may be happening for severe weather days like today. Take care and be safe, everyone. And I will see you all back here next Saturday.